Okay, recording this video on Sunday, the 5th of February 2023. It's just gone 4:27 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. Hope you had a good week's trading. So time for another weekend futures market recap where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. And obviously this week was a super important week because we had FOMC, but we also had a whole bunch of professional bars kind of come up on the daily or the higher time frame charts, and I'm going to show you those in a while. So a couple of notes to make about FOMC, and I'm going to do that with the 15-minute chart here that we have. Using the better indicators, this better pro-am and better momentum here. And 1st of February, Wednesday, was the announcement of from the FOMC. And I'll show you how I think about FOMC. The first thing to note is the morning of FOMC is usually very poor trading. You can get stuck in trades for hours and hours kind of going nowhere, and they tend to be choppy, so I never trade the morning of. And you can see here on the morning of February the 1st, on the Wednesday, you can see all of those amateur bars just before the announcements, and that shows kind of low average trade size, kind of low volatility, and you don't want to be stuck in that kind of a go nowhere kind of situation. So always wait for the announcement of the FOMC and then just give it a couple of minutes for the volatility to work itself out, because then you'll see some very nice quick kind of trending moves to be had. And on FOMC day this week, we started off kind of selling down a couple of times, and it was only after 45 minutes there that we had a real trend kind of set off where we had this bar broken to the high upside, and we get into a nice kind of trending move. So usually good trading to be had day of FOMC, but the real trend for me never develops until 2 days after FOMC. So the day after FOMC is all about the amateurs being sucked into the market based on what the pundits are saying about what the FOMC meetings notes kind of actually meant. And so here we got a whole bunch on the 2nd of February. During this kind of trading up day, we had a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in here, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. And that was basically the professionals getting out of the market here, selling to the retail investors who got kind of suckered into this activity based on the pundits. And then the day after that, which is the Friday, this is where the kind of the real trend started to happen. So we had a sell-off towards the end of Thursday. On Friday morning, we had professionals getting short into that profit-taking kind of piece of the market there, and we're just sitting at this important 41.50 type level here and looking for a breakdown there below the trailing stop below better pro-am. So as I said, avoid the morning of FOMC, trade the news announcement for short-term trades, and then wait over the next day and a half to see the true trend develop, where we're starting to see professional profit taking in the market just being topped out a little bit. But we will come back to the 15-minute chart in a while. I want to draw your attention to the longer term charts. Call these the kind of daily charts, but really what they are is they're 3 bars in a day session of each of the 15 markets. So in the case of the E-mini, what I do is take the day session, divide that into 3, and we get exactly 3 135-minute bars for the day session of the E-mini. For something like the Euro, which is trading more 24 hours a day, it's 3 460-minute bars. And so these are a lot higher time frame charts than the normal kind of tip bar charts. But we can go weeks and weeks and months without a whole cluster of blue professional bars kind of coming up. But this week we had all of those blue professional bars start to show up on a whole bunch of markets. And what that means is the professionals are super active and have been super active this week, kind of changing positions and getting ready for the next leg. Just show you a couple of these charts where we got the blue professional bars starting to come in here. So here's the Euro, and the Euro bottom down here at 96, 97, and a whole bunch of blue professional bars came in here. We had beautiful signals kind of down here. We've been in an uptrend ever since. But that was back in October when we saw the last blue professional bars here. And this week's activity, bang, first time they've kind of shown up in a long time. So that's important. So that's the Euro. E-mini, 135-minute chart, same thing. October was the last time we saw a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in. And then with this week's activity, up at the high here at 4,200, a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of coming in. Then we've got bonds, same type thing. Last time we saw them active, back in October, and this is the first time that we've seen a whole cluster of blue professional bars kind of come in here. So that's bonds and gold and silver. Huge amount of activity in gold and silver again. Last time we saw them was back here in November, blue professional bars, and now they've come in over the last several days on gold. Silver, same deal, very similar pattern. We had blue professional bars back in November, and then blue professional bars here. And Bitcoin not so much. Natural gas. We had some back in December, but then we're coming down here at the lows. Whole bunch of blue professional bars this week kind of stepping in. Crude, same deal. Last time we saw them was back in December, and now we're seeing them this week. So I think you get the picture. What that means is the professionals were super active this week. They're starting to take positions for the next leg of the trend. So we'll have to kind of go down into the time frames to see our signals. But just bear that in mind. Big picture wise, we've now got some kind of change of guard. There's going to be some different type moves develop over the next couple of months, couple of weeks. So let's start with the E-mini kind of backing down from the daily charts all the way to the 15-minute charts, because I'm still of the opinion that we are in an uptrend in the E-mini, but we're just going to see some short-term kind of corrections. The reason why I think we're in an uptrend, continue to be an uptrend, is because the daily chart still shows us that we've got supports in. So you can see over the last couple of weeks, we've got support on the intermediate time frame come in here. And the cross, where we should look to this pattern kind of playing itself out, is the other side of that cyclical activity. We've got to wait until it starts to cross before thinking that there's a change in that trend on that time frame. So that's why I still think we're in an uptrend on the kind of longer time frame charts on the E-mini. But as we start to go down the time frames, you can start to see that we might come in for a little bit of trouble in the next few days, maybe week or so. So the 135-minute chart, the next time frame down, 3 of these bars in a day session. We've got blue professional bars starting to come in here at 4,200. We've got a little end of trend on the lowest time frame there, but you know, this is still the time frames that we're playing out. The support, it turns out to be on the highest time frame on this 135-minute chart, which is then the intermediate time frame of the next time frame up. This needs to play itself out, so we're just finding a little bit of trouble at the moment. 45-minute chart there, you can see all those blue professional bars kind of coming in. That was the explosive move after FOMC. Blue professional bars kind of taking profits, amateurs getting sucked in up there, you know, based on the news, and we've had a little bit of a rounding off here. Happens to be an intermediate time frame on the 45-minute charts here. So I talk about the end of trends rippling through the time frames. And we got end of trend on the lowest time frame here. We got another one on the intermediate time frame, and now the intermediate time frame again. So we have pullback to end of trend, pullback to end of trend. So kind of you think about this as left shoulder head of this move, and this needs to play itself out. But we ought to be looking for this cross of the highest time frame here for the next opportunity to kind of go long. 15-minute chart. There it is played out, pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame, syncing up with pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame there. We've got an exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We've got blue professional bars going on there. So we're starting to see triple signals going on where we've got all 3 indicators coming together. We've got our exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, number 1. Kind of maxed out on better sine wave, that's 2. And 3 is breaking below the blue professional bars here, and we're sitting right on that little kind of support level there. So we might get a triple signal Monday on the 15-minute chart, Monday or Tuesday. And then backing it down to the 13,500 tip bar chart, you can see here, that was the professionals getting out. Like after we topped out here at 4,200, they weren't active right at those highs there, but they took profits afterwards. They kind of sold it down there. And this is the strength of the selling, the exhaustion sell pattern there, getting the move going. And we've got a little bit of a retrace happening here. We've got a stair-step trade with blue professional bars kind of stepping in here. So at some point we will get support here coming in on the 13,500 tip bar chart. So I don't know whether we're going to hold at this level and then go back up and test into 4,200. That's a possibility as this kind of holds that level, and then we play this thing out to pull back to end of trend on the 13,500 tip bar chart, or we just kind of crash through there on Sunday into Monday, and then need to find the next level of blue professional bars kind of coming in to hold it. But we'll see. These were happening. It wasn't on a level kind of above these areas that might be holding at that point. So we'll look to see if we get a triple signal there where we bust above 54 and this area kind of holds. So I suppose what I'm saying with the E-mini is it's going to be choppy because we've got this kind of intermediate uptrend happening, but we definitely had some profit taking by the professionals Thursday into Friday, and so it's going to be choppy until that gets resolved, maybe pushing back up with some more profit taking by professionals to push it down, and then we'll have some nasty days, and then the professionals come in at the lows and pick it up to complete that trending move on the higher time frame charts. Hope that makes sense. So let us go to the triple signals on the tip bar charts, and I'll just roll through some of those kind of quickly. I had a decent week's trading this week. You might know that I was long the euro at the end of last week, so the last weekend's video on Sunday, and that was not working out. And so as soon as it kind of broke some levels on Sunday, Monday, I got short, then took profits, got long, and this was the activity that I was trading. So this is the solid yellow vertical lines show the beginning and the ends of the week. So I was long the euro based on all of these blue professional bars coming in at the lows here. I thought they were holding. That was kind of getting the move going, holding every time. But then as soon as we bust through here, I got out of my position, reversed and went short, and then as soon as the blue professional bars came in with the exhaustion sell, took profits at that point, and then waited until about, I think around here, when I kind of got long, what am I doing? Long into the euro, and as soon as the blue professional bars kind of stepped in here, bang, I was out with a profit. So I was very happy with that, and then reversed into short E-mini after that. But we got a triple signal there at that point on the euro, and that was kind of good. We didn't get short signals at the high there because we didn't have a blow-off move. It didn't end up with exhaustion buy at that point to kind of show exhaustion volume kind of being played out. Instead, what we got was exhaustion sell getting this move going, and that's kind of continued down. Super big, this is I think with the ECB announcements on their interest rates on the Thursday, I believe, and that's why Thursday into Friday, that's why we had these blue professional bars kind of sell off here. So we're in a downtrend on the euro at the moment, and this is not over until we see, exhaustion sell, blue professional bars, all of those things. If these exhaustion sell signals are kind of getting the move going, that's a little bit of a short covering rally that fades, bang, we kind of need to see those on the downside. So that was the euro. Let me just show you the signals on the E-mini. So the last 2 weeks we had beautiful signals kind of 2 weeks ago with a long triple, bang, bang, bang. Professionals kind of took profits here. This is the jiggery pokery over FOMC. We end up making those highs, and there's the blue professional bars come in selling it down. So they weren't active right at the high there, but they decided, bang, we're getting out of this, we're going short. At that point we come up under the lip. I'll talk about this kind of trade here, and we're kind of continuing down. And this exhaustion sell, I don't know, as I said, let's wait and see whether this kind of area holds and we break up through 55s here to test into those highs, or whether this is just getting the move going, and we just, as soon as we break through these lows kind of down here in the 30s, then the move will just kind of start to fade. But that was a nice signal for holding for a couple of weeks. When I was trading the short trade, it wasn't based on this activity, it was based on highs up here and into this move here, going short at this point and picking up here, and it was based on the shorter time frame charts, the 500 and the 1500 tip bar chart. So that's the euro and the E-mini. British pound, let's look at the rest of the forex charts here. So a couple of weeks ago we had all of these signals going short. We were testing up and testing up at these points, and finally that's when the kind of interest rate announcements kind of come out, and bang, we've kind of dropped off in British pound, and no signs of blue professional bars coming in, no signs of exhaustion sell. Aussie dollar kind of following along. Beginning of the week we had a short signal there, and we came back up to test 71.5. Whole cluster of blue professional bars kind of come in, exhaustion sell getting the move going, bang, and we're kind of rocketing down. And Japanese yen, we had short signals here, market got caught, and we got long signals into those highs, and then here's all these blue professional bars kind of coming in, selling it down. What are we saying? We're saying the USD is strong. We've got weakness in all the other currencies, and it's not over until we see those exhaustion sell patterns kind of come up on all of those kind of forex markets. Bonds, 10-year notes here. So we had kind of only a short signal here after the FOMC day or two after FOMC. That was kind of nice, but it's not a classic for me because we didn't have exhaustion buy at these highs. That was exhaustion buy kind of getting the move going into these highs. And we've only just broken this kind of technical level with below blue professional bars here. So I wouldn't have taken that trade kind of short bonds, although it's worked out quite nicely. But what is happening instead is we're lining up for a long trade here. So coming back into those lows where we had a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in here, we got the same thing. Blue professional bars coming into the lows, exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence. We're oversold. You can see the background there printed in red. And we just need to bust above the trailing stop of Beta Pro Am here and we'll get a triple signal. So we've got all three indicators going off together. So there we go. Now, gold, silver, Bitcoin. Gold and silver, huge moves down. We had a long signal here into these highs, but we never ended up getting exhaustion buy on gold. We had blue professional bars kind of taking profits. We were overbought, and it ended up in this huge move. That would have been a great signal if we got it, but that's why we never got exhaustion buy there on gold. Silver, did we get a signal on silver? Yes, we did. But again, the exhaustion buy patterns were happening here, which I kind of count as getting the move going rather than ending it. But we do see blue professional bars at the top there with a flush pattern, and then ends up, does give it a signal. We've kind of traded down. Starting to see the reverse though down here at 22, where we've got exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars, and the trailing stop there. So we might get a little bit of a counter move in silver. Bitcoin now seems to be quite comfortable in the 20s, so we're sitting in the 23,000 at the moment. We had some nice signals here towards the end of the week. After exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars, bang, we get a triple signal long there. And we get a reversal here with a couple of signals having had kind of reverse patterns. But no blue professional bars kind of setting in at 24,000 up here. We're kind of getting this move going. So this level here at 22.8 is super important. The way the blue professional bars kind of started this move off, we've come back down to bounce exactly off that level. So that's Bitcoin. Now, crude. Crude, we had all of these signals last week. At the end of last week, we had a double signal here, short, having had exhaustion by bearish divergence. That at least is in the right place. And then when we came back up to test, you can see that's when the blue professional bars kind of came in. So they didn't come in here, but we did have exhaustion buy. When we came in and had our blue professional bars, it ratcheted up our Beta Pro Am trailing stop, and that's why we got our signals there. So we had a nice signal at the end of last week going short into crude. A little bit of a rally here, false signal there. There wasn't an exhaustion sell at that point. Yes, we've had one here and here, but it didn't kind of catch, and we kind of busted through again. So crude is still weak. On the higher time frame charts, though, remember that natural gas, we've had a whole bunch of blue professional bars come in here at $2 and a bit. So, they were short at 6.5, 7 up here, and now, down at 2.5. They're getting interested again. So let's see what we can see on the tick bar charts. So short signals a couple of weeks ago here, super junky activity there, but the triple signals kind of were able to see through that. We got a nice triple signal there, and we've kind of continued to play down and down. But on the tip bar charts, you can't see blue professional bars coming at the lows. So we've got to wait and wait. But let's see, on the higher time frame charts, the blue professional bars are stepping in, and that's important. And so if we start to see natural gas kind of coming down and blue professional bars starting to signal here this week, that'll be really interesting. I think I said that last weekend as well. I was kind of a little bit bullish on natural gas potentially setting up for a longer term chart. So I'll have to wait and see. Copper this week, not very helpful signals over the last couple of weeks. Yep, caught the high at that 435 up here with that triple signal. Junky activity during this week, and then the previous week. Then during this week we had a long signal here, but that doesn't look right because that's exhaustion, so getting the move going. Bang, bang, bang. You might ask, why don't we code that into the indicators? And it's tricky to do that, and the more code you kind of throw at a problem, the more you tend to kind of optimize. So my kind of default feeling is always that I should code it as simply as possible and then use your kind of judgment to take trades or not. So that's why you get a signal like this. Potentially you could reduce the signals by reducing one of the settings on the indicators by the look back period coming down. You could set it to 20 or 30 bars as a look back period, which is one kind of optimization you might be able to run on the indicators. So last series of charts, let's look at the ags quickly. So we've got corn here. So last week we had a nice long trade here, all those blue professional bars. I mean, that's a classic little setup here, everything coming together super tight. And then into these highs, we have a short signal here. We come back up to test under the lip. And at the moment we had another signal kind of the other way, but yeah, we didn't have blue professional bars in at the lows. They were kind of buying this, I would say kind of gaming it back up at that point. So any breakthrough 672 would take us into a resumption of that downtrend. So that's what I'd be looking for on the corn chart. Soybeans last week, yep, nice signals, exactly the same signal as corn down here. That was a beautiful kind of triple and a confirmation signal there. And then with this move here, we're in the doldrums at the moment here. We're kind of sitting underneath this high, but we didn't have blue professional bars at those highs. We've had one here, so potentially it's an area, if that's an important high, we'd come back up and test into that with blue professional bars and then roll over. So soybeans there, and lastly wheat. Wheat, look at that. I mean, that's a huge pattern of short signals coming in here. Blue professional bars, exhaustion bar at those highs, overbought. We kind of crashed down. So that I would suggest is not looking good for wheat. But last week, exactly the same trade set up in ags as corn and soybeans with the exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars, bang. And the signal actually happened a little bit later because that was when better priam was triggered. So sometimes I get a strong feel on the Sunday evening as to what I should be doing, Sunday into Monday. But this week, no, I don't see kind of any obvious trades to take straight away. So I'm just going to kind of wait and see, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday to see what kind of lines up, what kind of trades kind of pop up that look good. So there we go. Hope your trading is going well and looking forward to next week.